Albion Online is a free-to-play cross-platform sandbox MMORPG available on PC and mobile that I've covered on this channel numerous times in the past. Since my last video though, the game has had a ton of updates and new content added, as well as a brand new server located in Singapore. Previously, Albion only had one global server located in Washington, so any time I've played this game in the past I've had terrible ping, but thankfully now that isn't the case. Albion has also recently reached all-time high player numbers with the release of the new SEA server, and has also added new content in the form of the Mists, which is designed for solo and duo players. Basically a randomized zone with random objectives where you're not going to run into any zergs. Additionally, Albion's next big content update, Nightfall, is also right around the corner, which will add WASD functionality to the game, which is something that a lot of people have been requesting for a long time. In this video, I'll revisit Albion in 2023 on the Southeast Asia server, check out some of the new weapons, the new content, and give a general overview of the game in current year, as well as an updated pros and cons list at the end. But first, sponsor. Warframe is an epic free-to-play online multiplayer action game with over 70 million players that's available on PC, Xbox Series X, PS5 and Nintendo Switch that I'm sure the vast majority of you have either heard of or played before at some point. Warframe has just released a massive new update called the DUVIRI-VOID that transforms the game with a brand new roguelite time-looping massive open-world adventure mode that all players on all platforms can experience for free. The new DUVIRI-VOID content is accessible to everyone. From the very beginning you can jump right into it with a brand new story-based quest that sets the Drifter on a gritty sci-fi adventure to escape an enormous open world that transforms based on the mood of its ruler, the Child King Dominus Thrax. I will be revisiting Warframe myself very soon with a full video checking out this huge new update. But until then, click my link in the description below to download Warframe for free, and use my promo code for a limited time to receive a free bundle of items that are perfect for new players to get started in the game, including the Breton Assault Rifle, a 3-day affinity and 3-day credit booster. Download Warframe now. So, Albion Online in 2023, as you can see I've already played a bit in my spare time when the SEA server released, but starting out nothing has really changed for the new player experience. Create a character, basic customization, get washed up on a beach, follow the quest marker, gather some materials, craft a weapon, kill some enemies, get introduced to some different tiers of materials, craft a set of tier 2 gear, kill more enemies, get introduced to the destiny board which could really use the option to zoom out further on, destroy the heretic camp and leave on a boat. As far as the new player first impressions go, it's a positive first 30 minutes to 1 hour of gameplay. Even in the tutorial area, the game feels packed with players. Once you step off the boat, there's even more players and you just feel excited to play more. This is by far the best thing about Albion Online, the sheer amount of players in the world. For most content there's no instancing. If 500 players go to the same zone, you'll see 500 players. I think it caps out at a certain point, but basically you'll see more players out and about running around in Albion on one server than almost any other MMO. Past the tutorial, you're basically free to do whatever you like. This is a sandbox MMORPG after all. Wanna be a gatherer crafter and just supply other players in the player-driven economy? Go do that. Wanna do PvP? Go look up a build, gear up within an hour or so and start with corrupted dungeons. Wanna do PvE? There's multiple things you can work towards here too. In fact, let's break down all the types of content that's available for each type of player in this game. PvP players can do the following. Unranked and ranked 5v5 arena, 1v1 duels, open world full loot PvP ganking, treasure sites, castle sieges, castle outposts, faction vs faction PvP, corrupted dungeons PvP, hellgates which have 2v2, 5v5 and 10v10 modes, mists PvP, bandit assault PvP, guild hideouts, and a competitive guild vs guild scene with rankings. Some examples of PvE content include solo dungeons, group dungeons, world bosses, randomized group dungeons, solo expeditions, hardcore group expeditions, corrupted dungeons, open world mob farming, soloing bosses meant for groups with specific builds, and Mists PvE. Casual content includes talking about politics in general chat, being a crafter-gatherer that supplies the player-driven economy, progressing your gatherer gear to gather more efficiently, building up your instanced player island, guild islands, fishing, buying up city plots and taxing the fuck out of people, player fashion, and being what's known as a rat, where you equip very cheap gear and wait around full loot PvP zones, hoovering up unwanted loot from other people's PvP battles. So with that brief explanation of Albion Online out of the way, let's jump into some gameplay, test some new weapons, and go explore the mists. Jumping on over to the main account, here we are in Bridgewatch. Currently there's so many people that they're not all appearing. Apparently there's 411 people in this zone, and when a region becomes so overcrowded, people just don't appear anymore. The Southeast Asia server released over a month ago and it's still absolutely popping off. There's 263 people in this tiny bank area alone. Check the marketplace area. 475 people are currently using the Bridgewatch marketplace. As you can see, I got the name Big Damage, probably the best name in the entire game. I fancy a corrupted dungeon, let's go do one. We'll just do a casual corrupted dungeon. I don't really care about the whole full loot aspect. CBA with the re-gearing when I inevitably get killed. Jesus. Oh, die! Kill him! We got the curse off! Is he dead? We got him! GG. I wasn't too sure what was going on there, to be honest. He was teleporting around, going invisible. I was a little bit confused. Keep nuking him. Pop my heals. Keep nuking him. Keep going. He's invisible, and he's dead. Good fight. The power of the cursed staff. I quite like this weapon. The problem with corrupted dungeons is there is so much downtime between actually finding the fights that if you want like pure action and you don't want to wait around or go through all of this hassle, you're better off just dueling in the city. It's certainly a lot of effort to go through for a simple 1v1, isn't it? I've been running around for 5 minutes trying to find this guy. Okay, we're just hunting him down. Big damage. Pop my curse. He's just going to explode, surely. Any second, and boom. Good fight. I feel kind of mean because he didn't really get off to a good start. I attacked him whilst mobs were on him. It wasn't overly satisfying. To be fair though, most fights in corrupted dungeons, they're not overly satisfying. This is something new since the last time I played Albion, the solo queue ranked 5v5 arena. Crystal Arena, let's give it a try. Trying to think of a witty guild name. Ashes of Creation Waiting Room. I need to fix my guild logo though, that's horrendous. Big damage. Suck this guy out of his health. I quite like this demonic stuff, Warlock. I like abilities that are like zone and AoE people. Pretty cool. Zap him. Got him. Oh, they're so grouped. Big damage. Oh, let's go. Ooh. Oh, wait. I thought I didn't die. We won. Okay. Let's do that again. To be honest, as a PvP player, if Albion was my main game, I would probably just sit and queue arena all day. Because personally, I don't have the patience to go out in the open world and gank people. In every MMO, I hate waiting for a fight. I like to just instantly have a fight and then respawn if I die, instantly back into the action. I have no patience for like waiting around or even doing corrupted dungeons. The longer it takes me to get a fight, the less I enjoy PvP in an MMO. So this is probably what I would do if Albion was my main MMO, just queue arena all day. Last game I didn't play too well. Let's see if we can do more damage this time. Aiming for about 30k. Ugh, dude, what is that range? It's like rangers can hit you off screen. Maybe I need to re-roll to a ranger. Rangers just seem really strong. I'm never satisfied with the build I play. Like every time I play a build, I'm instantly wanting to re-roll to something else in every game type. And I have never found a build that I can sit on for longer than 20 minutes in this game. We're going to lose it right at the end. It's a very close game. Oh, we got the win! Nice. Okay, that was really close. It was like 4-4 at the end. We did decent, to be fair. But it didn't feel like I did decent. Like, none of the kills felt impactful or satisfying. There wasn't really any points in the game where I was like, fuck yeah, we got a kill. I just feel that that's the case always with Albion's combat. In a corrupted dungeon, I kill someone, I'm just like, When you deal damage in this game, there's like fuck all audio visual feedback. You just slowly kind of chip people down. That's how it feels. And I know there are some builds that do like somewhat big damage. It just doesn't feel good compared to other MMOs, it's just my opinion. Now I'm going to go out and explore the mists for the first time. So apparently I can enter the mists by finding some kind of fairy in yellow, red or black zones. Ah, we have found the mists. So this is a yellow zone mists. I thought the mists was only full loot PvP. I guess if you enter the mists for a yellow zone, the mists is also a yellow zone, same for red, same for black. And there's just tons of mobs to farm here. Turbulent mists. Unlocks in 20 seconds. What the hell is a turbulent mists? Okay, I guess we're PvPing now. But all of my shit's on cooldown. I can't even respond if I wanted to. Can we kill him? Okay, we killed him. Take the wisp. Alright, so what do we do with the wisp? Maybe I drop the wisp at this location on the minimap. So I've escorted my wisp to safety, and that gives me a big chunk of fame. Let's go get this treasure chest. Okay, let's go. PvP it is. What the? Felt like the dude shot me with 2 arrows, went invisible, and I just died to some dot. What the hell is this for? Oh, you just click on it and it gives you fame. Lots of little events going on here. Needs to be escorted right across the map. Mate, can I be bothered? It's a long way to go. Another mist portal. I don't know if I can be bothered to do the mists anymore. It's a little bit underwhelming, to be honest. It's cool that it's a new area in the game, but it's not going to be the deciding factor as to whether or not someone plays the game or doesn't. Maybe a red zone mists is more interesting. The greater mists. So in red zone and above, the mists are black zone mists. Seems like a good place to put on some welfare gear and do some fame farming. I'd assume that the random events in the black zone mists give more rewards. Oh shit, there's another player here. He has 2.9k health. Oh, and he's got a friend. Well, I'm dead. Well, we can try and run. Good fight. Did we get any reputation for that though? A little bit. Changing the guild crest costs gold. 48-hour cooldown. Mate, it's not that big of a deal. 3,000 gold. Wouldn't I be better off like deleted my guild and then making it again? Found a new guild within 72 hours. Okay, pointless restriction. All of that just because I fucked up the guild logo. Bruh. So I've entered a black zone and there's these people just waiting. What we can do is we can just go back where we came. So they've got no one to hunt. There we go, goodbye. So I've looked up this welfare gauntlets build and apparently it's really good for just farming mobs in the open world, so I'm going to give it a try. I've never used the spike gauntlets before. The last time I played Albion, this wasn't a weapon in the game, so seems kind of cool. So you group mobs up, AoE them down, seems good. You know what, I actually quite like the mists. It's quite chill, just coming here, grinding mobs, doing the objectives, knowing that I'm not going to get zerged by a massive group of people. There's only going to be like a maximum of 2 other players fucking with me. It seems like a nice addition to the game, as well as a completely different aesthetic with this fantastical, mystical theme with the mobs. Mists closing in 5 minutes. Okay, so these are all temporary. Currently queuing for an expedition. The last time I played this game, expeditions were dead content. I think the rewards were really bad. I don't know if they've updated it since, so queuing for a group expedition to see if that's the case. You can't join another guild for 72 hours after joining your last guild, but I literally deleted the guild that I made. It was a 1-person guild. Imagine if I wanted to play with my friends and then I gotta wait 3 days to do that because I made the mistake of creating a 1-person guild and then deleting it because it didn't like the guild logo. That's actually a quit moment. 4,000 silver. You're joking. 700 item power required. Mate, if you've got 700 item power, 4,000 silver's nothing. Quick look at the cash shop whilst I'm in queue. $30 for a skin. That seems a bit overpriced to me. It looks alright, but I mean the fact that it's a cash shop skin that you buy makes it instantly not cool. Like any cash shop skin is just lame. Because when you buy it, you're showing everyone, yeah, I spent $15 on a skin. Clearly people are willing to pay that though. I think this actually might be more expensive, if not the same price as Black Desert Online skins. To be fair, standard armor in the game does look cool. You don't even need cosmetics, it is completely optional. As far as silver and fame rewards go, yeah, dog shit. It's dead content in terms of rewards. Realistically, you're never going to do this to progress. You're only really going to do an expedition for a bit of fun, it seems. I mean, it's not the most exciting content, to be fair. I'm literally bored after 3 minutes. Fuck that, this is too boring. If I could do any bit of content in Albion Online right now, what would I do? Okay, let me be honest, this game isn't for me. Albion has 3 major deal breakers for why I personally can't get into it. Number 1, the combat is dog shit. Even when you kill other players, kill mobs, deal big damage, it just feels wank compared to literally any other MMO. The game is designed cross-platform for mobile though, so the combat kinda has to be this way, I guess. Number 2, the sense of progression is horrible. You don't feel like you're going on an adventure in Albion. In this game I could literally log into a fresh character, drop $150 on gold, convert it to silver, buy all the XP I need to max out my mastery for a certain build via the Tomes of Insight, then buy a full set of tier 8 gear and instantly jump into endgame content. I'm not saying the game is pay to win, because it's kinda not due to IP caps, the full loot aspect, and gear not really giving you a huge advantage, but it does feel like you can just pay to remove the entire progression system of the game. It's kinda like how in RuneScape 3 having a maxed character means nothing because you can just buy XP, but in old school RuneScape, even though you can buy gold with bonds and pay to win your gear if you want to, you still need to grind that XP and put in the work to max out your character. When I play a sandbox MMO, the first thing I do is open a Word document and start making my own goals, my own things to work towards, and usually this is really fun. I do this with old school RuneScape, Black Desert Online, New World, and even non-sandbox MMOs like WoW, Lost Ark and Guild Wars 2. Yet Albion is the only MMO where I really struggle to write down meaningful goals. The game doesn't really have completionist content to work towards. Sure, you could max out all of your skills on the Destiny board, but the gameplay involved in achieving that isn't very varied or exciting. Perhaps Albion would have a better sense of progression if the game had an Iron Man mode, because the whole buying silver and XP for real money kinda undermines the value of the entire gathering, crafting and player islands aspect of the game for me. Number 3, the world of Albion is probably one of the most uninteresting places to explore in the entire MMO genre. Once you've seen a map from one biome, you've seen them all. Every map is a square, there's very few points of interest, the world is heavily instanced, and there's nothing that makes you say to yourself, I want to travel to this part of the world map to explore. It's just a disconnected series of tiles with no stories other than those related to the PvP encounters you'll face whilst trying to make money or grind XP. But who cares what I think, I'm just one guy and this game is super popular right now, so my opinion doesn't really matter. I just wanted to revisit the game in current year to see if it could hook me in. It couldn't, and that's okay. So with that said, let's jump into an updated pros and cons list. Pros. Albion Online feels more populated than almost every other MMORPG. I'm not saying it is more populated, but it feels that way due to the mega servers and sheer amount of people you see everywhere. The game is highly accessible on both mobile and even the most potato of computer systems. The game has a classless combat system where you can change playstyles at any point. I like that there's random events, treasure chests and things that pop up in the world. The player-driven economy aspect and the fact that every item in the game is player-created is quite interesting. The game has a lot of great quality of life features nowadays, such as the ability to save and switch between loadouts. There's a decent mix of both PvP and PvE content in the game now. There's a decent mix of content for both large groups and small groups in the game now. The Mists was a nice addition to the game, especially for solo/duo players. Despite the game being full loot PvP, dying doesn't actually feel like a big deal most of the time. The game has a nice sense of risk versus reward for the gathering system. The game has a lot of cool features and content ideas such as Hellgates, corrupted dungeons, and the ability to create a guild hideout in the Black Zone, and the game highly incentivizes joining a guild and being part of the community for a lot of the content. Cons. The combat isn't satisfying. The numbers, the audio-visual feedback, the sheer lack of things to press, it feels like you're sword fighting with a balloon. The world itself feels disconnected, visually repetitive, flat and predictable. It's not a world that visually tells a story as you're travelling through it, and it's not a world you really want to go out and explore. The sense of progression in Albion Online is worse than almost every other sandbox MMO I can think of. You don't really feel like you're going on an epic journey in this game. Albion just straight up lacks completionist content. Albion has no real quests or story content that give meaning to areas of the world. The game is extremely meta-driven, and for each type of content you'll have your own specific build, which makes it very confusing for new players. The game has a lot of redundant, dead content such as expeditions, and even if you do join a guild, get into the endgame PvP and deal big damage, the actual time it takes to find a satisfying engagement or epic moment will have you questioning if it's even worth it. Overall, Albion Online is an MMO with a lot of cool, unique features that I'd love to see other MMOs steal ideas from, but for me it lacks too much in combat, world building and a satisfying sense of progression for this to be a game that I'd want to play further. If combat was the only problem with Albion, then I could probably get over that. I'm someone that enjoys old school RuneScape, which arguably has even worse combat. But what OSRS has that Albion doesn't is an incredibly addictive sense of progression and incredible world building that makes you feel like you're on an epic journey. Perhaps if Albion had some kind of Iron Man mode, the game would have a better sense of progression. At least that way you could do all of the crafting gathering stuff without the feeling in the back of your mind that the XP and silver you're making per hour has a direct dollar value associated with it due to the cash shop. But that's it for this video guys. To be honest, I didn't expect this to turn into a negative video. When I went into this, I fully expected that with the launch of the SEA servers, I'd finally be able to get into Albion as a potential main MMO, but that wasn't the case. Regardless, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments below, and if you have any similar issues with it. Help us out with a like to appease the algorithm gods. Social media on screen, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.